Well, an Afghan ally fought for years alongside the U.S. military. And then once Biden pulled troops out of the country, Abdul Wasi Safi had the choice to either flee his home or face torture, even death. So he made the difficult journey. He decided to go to the U.S. border, but he was thrown in a detention cell. And joining me now is his brother, Sami, who is pleading for President Biden to release him. And Sami, you are a U.S. citizen. You are here, you are trying to work on your brother's release, and you've had some recent help from Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. She has written a letter to President Joe Biden, which might get his attention. It says that when their service exposes them to credible threats, we must redouble our effort to keep our word, because doing so also protects our troops stationed around the world today and into the future. Tell me more about this letter, what you hope it might do.
So I'm hoping that this letter reaches to the White House and in particular President Biden, since we're trying to get his attention into this matter, because me and my brother work alongside United States Special Forces and different units. And to prove my point, I have my picture. Here I worked for 10 years providing service for Department of Defense and different units in different parts of Afghanistan. And my brother to show up into the United States borders and prove his point and showing that he served alongside United States Special Forces and being treated criminal and put in prison for unknown reason defines everything I've ever known about America and how she treats his friends and allies.
How long has your brother been detained?
He came to the southern border on September the 30th. From there, he was being transferred from Eagle Pass to Del Rio, Texas, and from there he's now transferred to Eden, Texas prison.
And as I understand it, the other migrants who crossed at the same time, they were all released into the country. And they probably have court dates that they might come to in the future. But tell me a little bit about the extensive background checks that you and your brother would have gone through in order to work with the U.S. Special Forces in Afghanistan.
Exactly. I'm sure all the veterans who are hearing my voice and people in Department of Defense, they know people like myself and my brother who we served both in different uniform. We had to go through a thorough background check. Specifically, my brother, who was an intelligence officer, his job was to provide intelligence, save his colleagues' lives and American Special Forces' life by providing accurate and on-time intelligence so that the operation is conducted successfully and they come back successfully. It takes a lot. My brother had to do everything in his power to make sure that the troops go on a mission and come back with success, not any casualties and lost in combat. So I'm sure everyone who hear my voice, they know how critical and how important his job was. In his duty, he made sure that he provides every detail of the mission, every intelligence that was available to make sure that he saves lives.
And he did. And so, Sami, Sheila Jackson Lee is asking for President Biden to pardon your brother. And we will be in touch. We will ask the White House if they have received the letter, if they are going to act on it. This does seem like a very unique circumstance and one that needs to be dealt with. Of course, we understand the problems at the southern border more than anyone. But in this case,
exactly. And like you,
go ahead.
Like you mentioned earlier, that like you earlier mentioned, that everyone else coming to the southern border, they, without any vetting, without any background check, they're being let go to this country.
Yeah.
And later, our law enforcement deals with the crimes and drugs and everything else that follows with that type of policy. But my brother had to go through all these things. Basically, it's a completely disappointment, and I'm pleading to Biden administration and those who are
we hear you.
in power or in authority to please step up, do the right thing, and do what was promised to this man who fought alongside the very troops that you told them that we will never leave our allies behind.
Sami, you're a wonderful brother. You're a great guest. We won't forget the story, and we will follow up. And Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee now pushing the Biden administration as well. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.